Hey, welcome to Work Hard, Play Hard, and Give Back, a real estate podcast. I'm Mike Litzner, the broker owner of Coldwell Banker, and today I'm here with Sean Farley, team lead of Novus Realty Group, powered by Coldwell Banker American Homes. Sean brings a tremendous wealth of experience in the real estate industry to the table here. I'm so excited to have you here as a guest on the podcast there, Sean. But before we get into any questions, I just want to remind our audience, please wait to the end. We have the drop the mic question. It's always exciting, a little more interesting, hopefully a little bit funny. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the button there for us. All right. So we got great things going on here, Sean.
Michael,
yeah.
Good to be here, buddy boy. I love it.
Awesome.
What a setup we got here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the Boomer and Carton show here. This is great.
Oh, come on. Don't lower our standards. We're way above that. Come on.
Them.
I know. We got to have some fun here. So, look, you've been in real estate for a while now. You've worn many hats. Well, maybe you could talk about your path. So before real estate, what does Sean Farley look like?
Wow. What I look like before real estate? I look like the guy from the Lucky Charms box, who I still look like. Had a bunch of careers. I started as a school teacher in the early 90s.
What grade?
I started with, I was a gym teacher. I started in a grammar school in Queens Village, which was great. Yeah. Great first experience. Yeah, so the kids, they used to call me Jim because I was the gym teacher. I always got a kick out of that. The teacher said, come on, line up, we're going down to gym. And as time went on, I wanted to change my career. I did go to St. Francis Prep High School for another 7 years, taught there, same job, phys ed teacher. And then did Wall Street for 10 years, and for the past...
Whoa. How do you go from teaching gym to Wall Street? And what does going to Wall Street mean?
Well, going to Wall Street, it was something I kind of always wanted to do. And I loved being a teacher, and it was a tough decision, but also tough to go down there at 31 years old because, you got 22-year-old kids out of college telling you to go fetch them coffee. Yeah. So I had to go through all the hazing and stuff like that. I loved it, though. Great job.
So what was your role in Wall Street? I'm curious how that really helped shape you as the real estate icon that you are today.
Yeah. I don't know about icon, but I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was what's called an equity sales trader, and I went from that into just, I had kids late in life. My first kid came at 41, 42 years old.
Okay.
So I didn't want to miss any time with them, and I went out and started Novus right after that in late 2012.
Well, when did you get your real estate license?
My real estate license I actually got originally in 2003. I didn't do much with it. I kept it. And I renewed it again in 2012. My experience was with real estate from a personal level, having bought a house in Saratoga at the time, and we had a couple rental properties up there, and it just wasn't great. I always felt like there could be more. Where Novus came from was the word new. It means new in Latin. Right. I wanted things to be a little bit different. I mean, when we came on the scene, Mike, we did everything from sponsor block parties to we sponsor every team under the sun. We really, that whole give back thing, I love that. Yeah. I really do love that, and that's one of the things. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to come to Coldwell, because it's a perfect match for us. Yeah, I think when you look at marketing, and a lot of agents ask us this question: what's the best way to market yourself? And connecting to the community is such a fundamental and easy way to not only contribute and be a positive influence, but at the same time, you're getting your name out there, you're getting known. So I think it's genius. It's so fundamentally simple, but yet genius because it's overlooked by so many agents. I agree. Well, a couple of things. First of all, we wouldn't be at the Coldwell stage where we're at now without Monique Bauman, my partner. She has just been, without her, she's the engine. I am the marketing guy and stuff like that, but she's the engine, no doubt about it. So absolutely nowhere without her. But I'll tell you a couple of things. If I was talking to a person who's getting into real estate right now, I would say a few things to them right away. Please. Well, you know what? The first thing I would say, Mike, is I'd say to them, number one, be different. If you think that you're going to go into this business, put a picture on Instagram holding up a set of keys and say, just sold, everybody's doing that. Right. You have to be different. Some of my marketing couldn't be any different, but you got to remember. That's for sure. Yeah, it's a little crazy, and I know that. But I definitely would advise people, be as different as you can. Give to the community, though. And when I say be different, what I'm really saying is do something that's going to make them look at your page, make them laugh a little bit maybe. Maybe you don't take yourself so seriously, but then they look at your page, and then at the end of your zany whatever you do, you tell them, hey, this is what's going on in real estate right now. This is what's happening. This is the teams we sponsored, stuff like that. Yeah. That would be the first thing I would tell them. The other thing I would tell them is make sure that no matter what, you do not forget your community. We started in Floral Park. We originally started, actually, believe it or not, in Garden City South, then Franklin Square. We ended up in Floral Park. Floral Park's my hometown.
Yeah.
They've been very good to us, and I love them all.
It's a great village over there.
It really is.
Cool, very cool vibe downtown and the train station.
No, it is, and I think that they've been very, very good to us. I think in return, we have to be good to them. That's how it works. Does it drive me crazy when I see a competitor who gives nothing to the neighborhood getting a listing? Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it does.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you.
But we try to get involved as much as we can, and we try to get involved as much as we can because it's very, very important. It's important that people see your name, and it's also important that you let them know that you're there for them when they need, whether it's a contribution to a charity or to play in a golf outing or whatever. You know.
So let me just ask you, I want to go back just a little bit. So you have this license, you're licensed as an agent. I guess you're doing it part-time. Do you go full-time first and then become a broker, or is kind of like this advent, like, you know, I'm going full-time, so I might as well jump into brokerage? What was the thought process for you?
No, I was all in. I was all in. I wanted to do things differently. Our marketing is so different. And I'm not just talking about me jumping out of, you know, windows into pools. That's a little crazy. It doesn't make them look, though, that's for sure.
Yes, it does. It catches eyeballs.
It definitely gets the eyeballs on you. I think for us, it's what could be different. I've been told by people, and it's a compliment. You don't want to say, "Oh, great, I know I'm a great marketer." I've been told by people, "Man, you market so well. It's so different."
Yeah.
One of the things we did, just to give you one example, is I have a very good relationship with Dylan Davis, who's a jockey up in Saratoga. I also have a very good relationship with Mike Luzzy and with his son Lane Luzzy. They're all jockeys. Dylan's been wearing our Novus letters on his leg, up racing around Saratoga and Belmont and Aqueduct for a lot of years.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times people text me from up in Saratoga, they're on vacation, saying, you know what, I just saw Dylan Davis, he just won a race. It just reminded me, I need to call you because I'd like to sell my folks' house or my grandfather. And before you know it, that bit of marketing, it brings you into it's a reminder.
Yeah.
That's what's good.
Yeah.
You give back, it's helpful.
Right.
When you do stuff like that, it's a reminder to people of what you do and how you market.
Exactly, because the worst thing you could do as a realtor, agent, or anything is be overlooked or forgotten. You know,
don't be a secret agent.
Right, exactly.
You never want to be a secret agent. I've heard that term a while ago.
You need to own the forefront of their mind when it comes to that real estate space, which is really what you're telling me is the secret sauce, and it works. It works. It works for you. It works for a lot of good people out there. So you jumped in, if I'm hearing you correctly, into the brokerage space because you had your own vision for how you wanted to shape your business and how you wanted to promote it and market. Is that correct?
That is correct. And as the years went on, there's always bumps in the road and things you're learning, and you work for yourself. There's a lot of sleepless nights. It's not always, the grass isn't always greener.
Don't I know?
I don't have to tell you. But I would say probably right around 2018, 19, Monique and I kind of kicked it up a notch with our marketing, how we were going to do it, how we were going to structure this whole social media thing. I didn't have Instagram till 2018. I didn't have it.
Yeah.
And we yell out, "Let's go" all the time. It just means let's go. Like, you get a lot of people who need to be pushed.
Yeah.
When you're sitting in that kitchen and they're not sure yet. That being said, it's a fine line because you also have to have a lot of patience.
Very much.
It's an emotional thing for people, and we like to understand it. We don't like to just push them. But sometimes it's like, hey, you're there, you're close, let's go. It's time.
Well, I always say that to agents, it's like you can't be selling all the time because if people don't need our services today, you can't sales pitch them into buying or selling our home. It's owning that space in their brain so that when their life changes, or which affects all of us, and the need to buy or sell a property comes into play, it's like, who am I going to use? It's already almost preordained, so to speak.
It is.
So you got to put the work in up front.
Absolutely.
To be in that conversation.
And to your point, there's the expression ABC, always be closing.
Yeah.
Not so fast. ABKW, always be kind and working. Okay?
Yes.
And what I mean by that is, you have to treat your client, this is, like I said, it's an emotional thing for them to sell a house.
Right.
You have to kind of go through it with them. You do. Yes. You have to show them, hey, I got you.
Right.
I know that piano's important to you. We're going to figure it out.
Right.
Take it easy. And you have to, when I say always be kind, always be working, every single situation you get, don't forget your clients.
Right.
If you sell a house for them, take them out to a nice restaurant.
Right.
Or take them to a Yankee game. Don't forget their kids' birthdays. Don't forget the first year that they're in their new house. These things all count.
Yes.
And people say they're going to do it.
Yes.
But they don't. And I think that I would tell, like I said, I go back to what I would tell people. What I would tell people getting into this business is make sure you're different.
Right.
And make sure you do not forget your community, because what happens is if you do a few listings in your community and you forget, they don't forget.
Right. Right.
And
they forget you.
And they'll forget you, and you're back to being that secret agent again.
Yeah.
And you really can't rest on your laurels in this business, because you'll get smoked.
Yes.
So you have to always be kind,
Yes.
considerate, and you always have to be working. Wherever you are, you should be working.
Yes.
You shouldn't be pitching, but you should be working. Working on knowing the names of your clients' children, how they did in the lacrosse tournament. It's not an act. It should just come naturally.
Right.
Once it becomes an act, they're going to see right through it.
Correct.
And then they're not going to use you.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly. So walk us through. You built your brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
The Novus Realty Group.
Mm-hmm.
And this past year, 3 months ago, give or take. Let me go back a little bit. Insofar as you've built a pretty impressive group of people, and who I've met, and some great agents on your team. We played golf together. We had a good time. They're good, salt of the earth people. But you had 23 people on in your brokerage.
Yep.
And you're doing about $80 million a year in sales transactions, which is pretty impressive.
And growing, and even through some bad years, we've done that. Look, I mean, I there's probably not enough time in the show to tell you what my team means to me. And in our negotiations, of course, we spoke about that.
Yes, we did.
And we spoke about how close we are a family.
Yes.
I can honestly say this: prior to becoming Colwell, and even now that we are Colwell, we never once had another. I know people are going to listen to this and say, "No chance." We've never once had one agent stab another in the back.
Yes.
Everybody's worked together.
Yeah.
Hey, you know that person? You know what? That guy was my Little League coach. I had been talking to him a few months ago. Okay, no problem. We'll share it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like if a listing came along that was in question.
Yeah.
We've never, can you imagine never having an issue in 12 years of a business in this industry?
Yeah. It's
almost impossible.
It's a highly competitive business, and you have type A personalities that are out there working in the field. It's not so much that they run into each other, it's how they handle themselves when they do. That's the important part.
It is. And look, when everything was going down with Colwell, we started our negotiations in March. There's always going to be like, I'm changes. I don't like change.
Yeah.
That's been erased so quickly. Your staff, I mean, everybody over in East Meadow, Lori in Franklin Square. I mean, I can't even. You and Tom. It's funny when I first met Tom, your partner. He talked about giving back, and how when he was looking over our numbers, he said, "Wow, it really impressed me what you give back to your, in Rockville Center and Flora Park and places where we have offices."
Yeah.
It really, really impressed him, and that impressed me. And I have to say, anybody listening right now, if you're that guy who's got that small business who you're fine anyway, even if you're okay anyway, and you don't need to do anything, you'd be making a huge mistake to not sit and talk to you guys, because you guys sold me in 5 minutes.
Really?
That's the truth. It really is.
Who's a good salesperson now?
You're a pretty good salesperson now. You were ABC on me that day. This all happened after golf, standing on a patio overlooking the 18th hole. I mean, I remember this.
Yes.
To me, it was a great match made in heaven, and so, everybody's happy. Everybody's very happy.
Let me ask you a question. So, can you walk our audience through the whole concept of the difference between running a brokerage and the benefits of running a team, and repositioning Novus Realty Group as the Novus Realty team? So you obviously saw what we were doing, and you're looking towards the future. Okay, so how has it impacted you as well as your team?
Well, I could say this, and there's no way I can even answer this question without mentioning Monique one more time.
Yeah.
Monique Bauman's my partner.
By the way, Monique is awesome.
She's incredible.
She is.
I mean, we know that already. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
She's like, it's unbelievable, because she's like a partner, but she's also like mommy to everybody. And everybody calls with, and look, that enables me to do what I do, to market, to go to games. I mean, I'm going to a restaurant on Monday night with some clients. I'm going, we're going to the Yankee game the week later. I have a client I'm taking out today. So, and I'm not saying that not every other brokerage and team leader doesn't do that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you think you do it a lot, double it.
Yeah.
Because that's where the business comes from.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, having a good dynamic duo, so you're not in two places at one time, as you
Correct.
know. All right. Also, for us, there are stresses that go away with having a team behind you like that, and one of them is, we're able to have all of our open houses prepped really, really well. Gail, who was with us originally, who's now going to be becoming an agent, she did an amazing job for us, and to have her do that for so many years was so helpful.
Right.
We've had a bunch over the years that have done that stuff. So now that she's going to become an agent, she'll see how helpful it is in using
applying all the experience that she was exposed to.
And I think that, we were a little limited in our time that we had to spend on social media in terms of, I don't think there's a deal that goes up that we don't know what everybody at Coldwell Banker is doing all over this area. So it's always nice to see that. We can see what everybody else is doing. Even something like this podcast, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Anybody who's listening right now, they have to believe me. None of these answers were pre-rehearsed. This is all coming from the heart.
Yeah.
I am so happy we are where we are.
Yeah.
You guys were very fair to us, and we're going to try to give you everything we've got. We know we will. I think it's been a tumultuous rate level that we're at right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to get fixed eventually, hopefully.
I'm kind of curious, because we when we were talking about how the synergies would line up, one of the things that I know we really delved into is the redundancy of trying to duplicate things. Well, whether it's payroll, compliance, training, so having that centralized and being able to plug into those resources, how does that help you? It
helps tremendously because every single time we think we need to go over a topic, we'll get an email that says, "Oh, by the way, we're going over this topic tomorrow." It's like you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's where I lacked.
Yeah.
I wasn't ahead of the game within the I don't want to say the admin part of it, but more of because Gail did such a good job.
I would say the confines of the business.
But within the confines of the business, it's hard to pay attention because things are changing all the time. We've seen the changes.
Oh man, and they keep changing at a faster and faster pace.
And they are, and I think educating the agents the way you do.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to educate the clients is a really, really good thing. Our clients never question us.
Yeah.
And now that I think with the Coldwell name behind us, it's going to get even easier.
Yeah.
When I say never question us, our clients trust us implicitly.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to what I said before. Nobody ever stabbed each other in the back, number one. Number two, we really haven't had a lot of clients who've said, no, you're wrong.
Right.
Do you know one of the best, this is going to sound like an unusual thing for a real estate thing, one of the best recommendations we get are from people who didn't hire us. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
I know that sounds crazy.
No, I feel you on this.
And I've had people call me and say, "Oh, you know what? You sat in front of me. You told me the truth on where we should price it."
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we hired somebody else because they came in and told us we were worth $1 billion. And now we've changed the price 15 times. We've had 27 open houses. And guess where we sold it? Exactly where you said we should have sold it. We would have told them to put it there and price it right and let them fight. We probably would have got them more money.
It's one of the biggest challenges every realtor faces.
It's amazing.
Is that they call it in the industry buying listings, right? And
it happens all the time.
You want to be forthright and honest and true, and yet sometimes honesty can cost you. So it takes a lot of guts to look a client in the eyes and just stick to the truth, even though you're competing against somebody who's throwing numbers out because they're yes people. And then it's hard for a consumer to turn around and say, wow, this other person's telling me $100,000 more. I really like Sean, and I think he's telling us the truth, but if he's wrong, he's costing me $100,000.
Exactly right. And it's human nature, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't make him a bad person. It's a lot of money to lose if you're wrong. And then what happens is many times it's exactly what you just said.
It's a fine line, and there's two parts to that because it takes a lot to make sure you tell them the truth and you're honest with them.
Yes.
It takes a lot more to walk when they don't listen.
Yes.
Because now you got to see the other guy down the road list it, and you're like, all right.
I lost market share.
Exactly. But you know
but
what?
You didn't. You really didn't.
But Mike, we've all made the mistake, right? We've all taken the ones that are too high.
Exactly.
And you end up, you're getting burnt. You know you're spending money on marketing. You know you're driving around, or doing a drone video for something that doesn't. It's.
And you get this. I've had this a while back, obviously, and like these people look at you and it's like, well, if you're that good at marketing, what do you mean you can't get my price? I'm like, look, if I could sell houses for $100,000 more than they're worth, I wouldn't be in brokerage. I'd just be buying houses at market value and reselling them for $100,000 more than they're worth. So it's. But I think people don't understand how our business works, and that's the tricky part. So it's a matter of operating in that environment and continue to communicate, which I love what you really were saying.
Yeah, it's
connection
true.
And communication to the.
It is true. You have to communicate it to them, and like I said, our clients do listen. I mean, 99 times out of 100, they're going to sit and say, you know what, we just do what you do. We see what you do.
Yes.
You're getting results. Now, I have several thousand people who follow me on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, which for one person's a lot.
Great, it's fantastic.
It's good. And people do know who I am. I've been this crazy my whole life. I mean, really,
me too.
I mean, right. So for me, it's almost like, oh, he's just at it
connected
again.
from the beginning.
Plus, we got the same color hair and complexion. So, it's a when they know you, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I got a lot of phone calls and DMs on. I didn't even know what a DM was until I got Instagram. Now I know. My daughters helped me with that stuff.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, you get a DM or you get a private message or you get a text message that says, hey, I've seen what you do and I love it.
Yeah.
We had a guy who was a client of ours a while ago. This was in Wantua, and he had this giant pool, and we put a big sold sign in. I dove through the sold sign.
Yeah.
So people might be like, well, what's this guy selling pools? No. But you're looking. Aren't you looking?
Yeah.
Because when you're looking, oh, by the way, you got about 10 houses for sale down the block.
Where did you get this idea from?
I don't know.
One of the things I think is your gift, and we talked about this, is that it is your focus on marketing, your creativity, if I may. And again, when we talked about putting this deal together and you joining the team, is taking stuff that drain your hours like payroll and compliance, all that, because they are just drains of your resources, and like letting with removing that off, letting you flower and focus on your gift. And then now as you're doing this, so where do you come up with an idea that the house has a pool, I'm jumping in? Were you wearing a suit or something? Or
No, I was wearing a bathing suit. Oh yeah, I was definitely wearing a bathing suit.
Okay.
And by the way, you got to remember something. To make it fun and right, it's only one take.
Yeah.
You can't be the guy in a wet bathing suit jumping into a pool. That's not fun. You got to look dry. So it's it's one take on that one. Can't mess that one up.
No.
Look, I don't know. The answer is I don't know. Like I said, I've been like this my whole life. I've been doing impersonations of people, and I do all these. I've been a guy breaking chops on everybody my whole life.
Wait, you do impersonations? I just learned something new.
I do a bunch.
Give us your best
No,
impersonation.
I can't do them on command.
Just one.
Unless, how much? You got any bourbon in this thing? Hey, I'll tell you what. There's no bourbon here. Okay, that's my Rodney.
There we go.
That's pretty much it for me. Justin's laughing back there. Justin, I've been doing Rodney Dangerfield since I was about 9 years old. My father's like, you're not eating Thanksgiving dinner tonight unless you do Rodney for the whole table.
Oh,
I
really?
say things like, hey, Aunt Margaret, how about passing those potatoes? Okay. I used to have to have Thanksgiving like that. Can you believe that? It's
I'm
crazy.
trying to picture a 9-year-old with the
Oh, it's no
Rodney.
problem. Oh, I had my voice. It was perfect. My point is, all you're doing is you have to be yourself in this business.
Yes.
But I said it 50 times. You got to be different. Be yourself, but be different. And if you're the type of person who's scared to step out of that shell, give me a call. I'll help you.
Yeah.
If you're from Cornwall, if you're from another firm, don't call me. Call somebody else.
Well, are you entertaining additional recruits? Are you looking to build your team?
Oh yeah. I mean, our team. Look, our team that we started with. Yeah. And of course I would. And anybody who's, like I said, anybody who's listening who wants to, just let your hair down. You let it all out. This is what I tell people too. Yeah. There's many people scared to get in front of a video, even their own phone. Right. But I tell them the good news is you're by yourself. Yeah. So if you screw it up, do it again. Right. Exactly. Do you know how many times I have to do a bunch of takes because like the other day I was doing this thing. I was doing this thing. I saw this picture on a wall. You'll see it if you look at the Instagram. So, and I'll give you all that stuff later. But I saw this picture on a wall of myself. This guy looked just like me. So all I did was stick my head in front of him and go, like, the people were cracking up laughing. It got 2,500 views, 2 listings out of that. Really? Well, yeah, because people, by the way, again, it's back to, I thought about you. I was thinking about you, I got to give you a call. I know you're in the business, and then you made me chuckle. Yeah, what the heck? Come on over. Might as well sell the house too. Exactly. I recently bought I had seen this Jeep that I had fixed up. It's got the American flag on it. Yeah. I've seen it. I love it. It's cool, right? Yeah. What year is that Jeep? It's a 1991. It's been pretty much fully refurbished. And again, it's back to that type of stuff. It's a constant reminder, but. Wait, the wrap. Tell them about the wrap. Well, the wrap's all American flag. Yes. And the first day I got it, when I made sure I had the Novus logo on the back. Yeah. We were just Novus at the time. And I drive to a red light. This is the first day. So I got it at 12 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, I'm at a red light in Valley Stream. I get a guy come over. He's got a Marine tattoo on. He goes, I love that Jeep. Follow me. I want you to sell my grandmother's house, which we did. Awesome. I mean, it was unbelievable. So I was like, wow, that was a pretty good investment, Yeah, definitely. We do have a van, like a courtesy van that we lend out to not just people who are moving. Yeah. Because we're not a moving company. Right. But it's nice to be able to help out. In Rockville Center, we've been helping out the lacrosse. There's a big lacrosse tournament every year. So we help out with that. You help move the equipment. They take the nets. Buoy 4 is a big company that sells all the equipment at these things. So the company Buoy 4, these guys borrow our van in Floral Park. If I can mention the Hans Family Foundation. Okay, please. We hold them near and dear to our hearts. This is the taconic accident that happened 15 years ago today, ironically. Oh, is it? Really? Where the 3 little girls lost their lives. And we're so close with the family, with the Hans family. And with Warren and Jackie and their daughter Casey, and everybody involved in the foundation. And they have a huge event every year. They borrow our van for all their events.
Yeah.
We actually got the van so we could help out with stuff like that. You know,
Perfect.
It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
It really, really does. So,
Yeah.
and they're just wonderful, wonderful people. So it's a charity that's so near and dear to us. Ironically, it's 15 years today. I didn't realize that until we just started to talk.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you shared that. I want to kind of go backwards a little bit to something. So,
Sure.
I'm hearing all about the unique marketing, and it's apparent and obvious. Your personality jumps out off the screen, I'm sure. And I'm going back to the 9-year-old Sean, who's doing Rodney impersonations, and I'm thinking, there's a rumor out here that you did commercials when you were
I did. Good rumor too. That rumor is true, by the way.
It's a true rumor. Okay, so it's not just BS. So
no, it's true.
Did you do more than one commercial, or just one commercial? And
well, I got a couple of crazy stories. This is great. So I had a very short-lived career. You have to understand something. I was about 8.
Yeah.
But I'm doing the part of a 4-year-old.
Okay.
So I could read. You know how easy I was to work with people? So the director would be like, here, read this. I'm like, all right, no problem. You know, I was the sizzling bacon kid. Remember that bacon?
Yeah.
Hey, Ma, did you bring home the bacon?
Brought home the sizzling. Don't bring home the bacon. Think lean. Bring home the sizzling.
Evidently, they took it off the shelves because it was bad for people's health. So if anybody got sick from that, I apologize. I was only 7 or 8.
I don't think you're culpable.
I don't think so. So yes, I did sizzling bacon, Ruffles potato chips. I did a bunch of commercials. But again, it was easy for the directors that I looked so young.
Yeah.
You know, I was 8 years old, and I'm doing these commercials where I'm playing a part of a 4 or 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Guess what? The kids I was auditioning against, they couldn't read yet.
Yeah.
I get all the parts. You know, plus I had red hair. I looked like Danny Partridge, who was popular in the 70s, right? So there I am.
I can relate to this.
Yeah, of course.
My hair's not
You
so
look just
red
like that,
anymore,
actually.
but yeah.
So, you know,
So how do you get into commercials at 8 years old?
I was with my mom. We went into the city with our friend Edie Collins. Her son was doing them. Her nephew Ryan was doing them. And the guy goes, I heard this kid talking out there. Bring him in here. So I went in there. So we start talking. And he goes, you want to do commercials? I'm like, yeah. Do I get paid? That's the first thing I asked, of course, right? They did pay me a couple bucks. So, and then it just kind of snowballed. We did a lot. This is true, I did get the part for Kramer versus Kramer, the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mother wouldn't let me do the movie because we're Roman Catholic and there was a nude scene, so she pulled me out. But it's a true story. I had the part. They gave it to some other kid. I don't know. Maybe he's got his own real estate company too somewhere. Who knows? I doubt it though.
Yeah, right.
So that's true. And then that was kind of, you know, that was, again, you just got to be yourself. You know?
Wow,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah,
That's
it was pretty funny.
All right, so before I go any further, I just want to remind our viewers, again, stay for the drop the mic question at the very end, and don't forget to like and subscribe. So we talk a lot about playing hard, and we've actually touched on this a little bit. Tell us about the personal life of Sean Farley. You know, so
thanks. Well, so I have a lovely wife. Her name is Kristen. I have 3 beautiful girls, Gracie, Katie, and Lexi.
Yeah.
They're incredible, and we live for them, you know, and again, I think I'll go back to what I said before. I had a great job working in the city. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to be, texting was just becoming popular at the time. I remember when I left, like it was around, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Right.
And I remembered being, on the train, and I'd see all these guys texting like they're so miserable at 6 o'clock in the morning on the train. And I'm like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So, when I left, I had all intentions of never, ever missing anything of theirs.
Yeah.
And as a father, I can honestly say I've never missed a thing.
Awesome.
Never missed a
Great.
softball game. Never missed, I have my older one and my younger one, they're dancers. I've never missed anything.
Great.
They dance at Miss Colleen's Elite Dance Studio in Rockville Center, and they love it. And I've never missed anything of theirs. Because I know it's important to them, and I couldn't do that. I couldn't say that. My middle daughter Katie, she's an artist and she's an actress.
Really?
So that ham business runs in the family.
Come on, is she getting commercials?
I don't know. We'll
Like
see. She's getting a lot of the leads. I shouldn't say all the leads. She gets a lot of the leads, and she's a great team player. She doesn't get a lead in the part. She's good. So proud of her. And my wife's just an unbelievable. She's actually ironically working at St. Francis Prep where I used to work.
Yeah.
She's a librarian there. So it's just I just couldn't be. I'm very, very happy. We have a great family, and yes, you have to work really, really hard.
Yeah.
But in life, you work really, really hard at everything, right? So having a family, making sure you allow enough time for them. I'm the one who gets yelled at for being on the cell phone too much instead of me yelling at the kids. Unfortunately, just our business doesn't sleep, but it's something that they've grown to sort of understand. But we do a lot. We do a lot with them. We try to make as many memories as possible.
Now, with the sheer demand of being in real estate. It's
Right.
a 7-day-a-week, 24-hour job, it seems like. And then, of course, the full-time job of being husband, dad.
Yeah.
You know, what does Sean Farley do for relaxation, you know?
I guess sleep for relaxation, right? No, I'm only kidding. Look, I love, I'm fortunate enough to belong to Hempstead Golf and Country Club where I met you.
Yes.
Which to me, it's been a, it's hard to explain because it's such a home. I mean, you know it.
Yes.
It's just, we hold the place near and dear to our hearts, both of us.
Yes, yeah.
And that's like another family.
Yes, it is.
And it's been great. I've been fortunate enough there to meet so many people who have become such good friends. There was never the real estate pitch. I never bring up real estate there ever.
Right.
They come to me.
Right.
Because they kind of know that
Yeah.
I'm very, very in tune with it. But I've had, like Floral Park and Rockville Center, all those friends. It was so good to me.
Yeah.
I have the friends in Hempstead who were very good to me too.
Sure.
So I love to play golf with friends. I love to play golf with clients. I think the clients really appreciate that. They know it's a long day. They know it's sometimes an expensive day, and they appreciate that. Like
Yeah.
they look and say, you brought me out for a great day. I'm not gonna forget you.
Yeah.
And
right.
again, it just comes naturally.
What's your handicap down to?
Well, now it's up to. I did have my hip replaced last year. Right? We didn't miss a day of work though. All right.
right.
I was working
There you
from the
go.
operating table. Don't worry. So had my hip replaced last year, so I slowed it down a little bit. But I'm up to about an 11, so that's
All
okay.
right.
I'll take that.
All right, well, you're not working hard enough because my handicap's way higher than that.
Well, I'll be 55 years old on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I said if I could be at this level at 55, you're out with your friends, you're out on the golf course, you're talking business.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck?
Blue skies, green grass.
You can't complain about much.
Yeah.
You hit a bad
breeze.
shot, move on.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't call it a bad shot if I hit a bad tree.
I hit a bad shot. Yeah, I haven't seen you play yet, so because we were in different groups the last time we played, but
Yeah,
we'll play anytime.
the guys I play with call me Mikey Trees.
Mikey Trees, huh?
Yeah, because I'm find a way to.
Hey, this guy's gonna need a tree wood. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So look, I, as far as me as what I like to do, I love to do that. I love spending time with my kids, and we do a lot of that. Every time we do something cool, we call it making a memory. You know what I mean? So my daughter was sick last week. The other two were down in Pennsylvania at a dance competition. She got better, and she looked at me. She said, "Can we make a memory and just go right now?" I said, "Let's go."
That's awesome.
So 4 hours later, I was eating more chocolate bars than the Reese's peanut butter guy. Forget about it. I came home about 20 pounds heavier. But it was great. It was a great time.
So let me ask you a different question.
Sure.
Who would you consider has been the biggest influence on your life?
I have to say, by far, my parents.
Okay.
They, I got to tell you, when I was starting to be, I was starting to become an adult. So you call it whatever, 19, 20, whatever the real adult is, 21. When you get out of college and you're thinking about what you're going to do. My father just asked me. He said, "Just do me one favor. Just." And I'm not knocking becoming a police officer. He just didn't want me to do that.
Yeah.
Because he was a policeman for so many years, and I'm so appreciative of his service.
It's a tough job.
Tough job.
Yeah.
And he asked me not to do that. And he said, "But I'll support you in anything you do."
That's
My
right.
father wanted me to go to Wall Street when I was 18 years old. I know he did.
Yeah.
But when I wanted to become a teacher, he didn't stop me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I would say that I always appreciated that. And my mom is the one who, if I have to sit down and have some sound advice, I know I can sit down with her and I can trust what she's going to give it to me straight. And I'm going to trust her. So my parents were absolutely the biggest influences of my
Now,
life.
I've met your father, and he seems to be quite the character also.
He's a character.
Is that where you get that
I guess
energy
so.
from?
I guess so. He is a character, I'll tell you that.
He must have been a wild man in his youth. I'm just call it instinct. I don't know whether it's fact.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
In a positive way, I mean that.
I'm louder than he is.
Yeah.
I know
Are
that
you?
like if you're on the golf course, if you're on the 10th hole, you'll hear me on the third hole.
That's a fact, by the way.
I know, I'm sure it is.
Last Saturday, I heard.
You heard it,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Well, I missed the putt,
That's definitely Farley. No, I heard. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, I say that after every ball goes in the hole, so you're going to hear that about 18 times around. But my father is not as loud a while. But there's an episode. I always compare my father to somebody. There's an episode of Gilligan's Island.
Yes.
Poor Justin probably never even heard of the show. He's too young. But I mean, well, he probably has. But Gilligan's Island. There's an episode where the guy is called Simon the Likeable, and every time you meet him, you like him. My father is like Simon the Likeable.
Yeah.
He's a guy who, the second you meet him,
Yes.
as soon as you hear his laugh,
Yes.
you instantly love the
Contagious.
guy.
It's contagious.
You know?
Yes. You can see it. He's
my
got like
mother,
the smile, his body language.
Exactly. He just
There's
cracks
an
up.
There's an
Yes.
aura about him that's just fun.
And my mother is his biggest fan. So
Yeah.
she laughs right behind him because, so it's nice. And I'm very blessed. My father's 85 years old. My mother's 79. So I'm very blessed to have them both.
Yeah.
And I treasure it. I try to spend as much time with them as I can.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad to hear that. Otherwise, I have
Thanks.
to sit you down for a good
We'd be
talking
married.
to.
You put me in a different color jersey.
Yeah,
That was another
okay.
match made in heaven, same color. I mean,
Yes.
That's pretty good. We're almost the same blue,
Yes,
So,
exactly.
Very happy, and everybody's happy. They really are. So.
Good. So let's come back to the charity, because obviously we talk about work hard, play hard, and give
Sure.
back, and that's the real focus. I think we've tried to build a well-rounded agent career, and obviously hard work is at the fundamental, but
Sure.
not losing focus on family and personal and who you are personally is important, because with 7-day-a-week
It's
job,
tough.
you
It's
can
tough.
you can lose yourself a little bit, and then trying to keep that time with giving back. And I know you talked about the Hands Foundation,
Yeah.
but I know you do a lot of other charity work
Sure.
and stuff. Anything else near and dear to your heart?
Yeah, I mean, I like to share a story about, there's a basketball coach named Rick Pitino. He coaches St. John's now.
Yeah.
Rick's had an incredible pedigree in the game of basketball.
Absolutely.
It's funny, I met Rick at it's actually a really great story, if I may. And
Please,
I met
please.
Rick at a Yankee game in 2003 or 4. I don't remember the exact year. So we were talking, and he took a liking to me, and he said, it's something about you. I took a liking to you. I don't know what it is about you, but, so we started talking. We became friends, but I had gone to that game alone, which I've never done in my life.
Really?
And I went alone because I was supposed to go with my friend Tommy, who sadly lost his son to SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
Wow.
Now, I had been telling Coach Pitino about this that night. We were just talking. I said, that's why I'm alone at the game.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to get up there during a rain delay because a friend of mine named JJ got me through there. Long story short, we became friends, and he said to me, I lost a son to SIDS. Now, I had forgotten that. And I'll never forget the way he treated me. And he said, we have a foundation in my son's name, the Daniel Pitino Foundation. So
I did not know this.
yeah, so they actually pulled the bus over to tell him the bad news in 1987 when he was the coach of Providence.
Right.
So that's the other one that I always hold near and dear to my heart, And there's always a few. I mean,
Yes,
there's so many, and St. Baldrick's and all these. There's just so many. But when you ask me near and dear to my heart, I always think of the Hans family.
Yeah.
And I think of the Pitino family.
Yeah.
And there's been some tragedy in my hometown. There's been the Malone girls who passed away. They have a nice thing that they do for them every year. Recently, we had this kid, Christopher Pataglia, who passed away. He was a Kellenberg kid. So anytime you hear stuff like, and there's so many more, and if I'm leaving anybody out, I really
Absolutely.
apologize, obviously. But, we don't rehearse any of these questions, so I'm just giving you what's on the top of mind at the moment. But, you have to always make sure that you don't overstep, but you try to help out as much as you can and contribute as much as you can, and sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with my friend Warren Hans, and I said, look, this year I got to tone it down a little bit. We had a little bit of a slower year, whatever the case may be, and he's so good about understanding. But when you can, you do. That's it.
Yes.
You
Good.
know?
I like that. That I think is the fundamental.
Sure.
When you can, you do.
When you can, you do.
And that's at the heart of what giving back really is.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All
Thank
right. Good. So what I want to do is I want to pivot to the.
Drop the mic question.
All right, so here's the drop the mic question. So
Okay.
we had a little insight ahead of time about your commercial success as a youth, and we see your marketing today, and we say, okay, Sean Farley has the opportunity to represent any product on TV in a commercial today. What are you going to represent?
Wow. That's definitely a drop the mic question. So I have the opportunity to represent any product. Does it have to be real estate related?
No.
Huh. That's a drop the mic question for sure.
I know it wouldn't be Sizzling.
It would be sizzling. I get in trouble for that. I don't think it'd be Ruffles either. I think I've moved on to like the chips that don't get you as heavy. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Not that he needs it, because he's already done so well. But there's a guy named Mike Rapoli who I went to college with.
Yeah.
Mike is the original vitamin water guy, and he's gone on to be a success. I think my passion, because I'm watching him with his passion, it's horse racing. Probably horse racing in some
Really?
respect.
Okay.
I lived in an apartment in Floral Park when I first moved out of my parents' house. I was about 22, I guess 23. I bought a place in Floral Park. And every day, these old ladies would sit in the courtyard and they'd see me going in and out of the apartment. And they were like, how'd you do today? I'm like, good, great. I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. How was today? Good. Then they'd say, like, did you have a lot of mounts today? I'm like, mounts? I'm like, yeah, I guess, yeah, a lot of mounts today. I don't know, I had no idea what the hell they were talking about.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, they thought I was a jockey. Now, mind you, I was like 50 pounds lighter. So one day they were like, so are you going to Saratoga? I said, yeah, I'm going to go to Saratoga on vacation. So like, well, how many horses are you going to be riding? I'm like, wait a minute, do you people think I'm a jockey? They thought I was a jockey. from that moment forward, I fell in love with horse racing.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be one. By that time, believe it or not, and I'll never say this, by that time I was too tall. I was like 5'7", and I weighed too much, so I couldn't. But horse racing in some capacity. So I would like to probably market horse racing in some capacity.
All right, so we'll put your name in the hat for Belmont Park or for the National Racing NYRA, is it?
NYR, yeah, I'm on all those hats, yes.
Yeah.
I'm on all those gambling websites. I love them. But yeah, so I guess, Naira bets. I mean, if I'm up here, Brandy, they better pay us. You know what? Cole better get a check here. I mean, these guys,
Why not? Why not? I'll be your agent.
Done. If they make bigger horses, maybe I can get up on one. But that was my dream, so I figured I would answer that. So I'm sorry I stayed so speechless for so long. I wasn't expecting.
I'm glad. I didn't think I would ever find you speechless, so I'm amused by that already. So that was worth it. It was worth the wait.
Good, I'm glad.
It was worth the wait.
I'm
So, okay, I think we're in a good spot here. I just really want to thank our audience for joining us today at the Work Hard, Play Hard, and Give Back, a real estate podcast. Again, please like, subscribe, and tune in to our next episode in 2 weeks. It drops. Okay, Sean, it was great having you on the show today.
Thank you. It's great being on the show.
I appreciate you taking the time to be here and share your experience and stories with our audience here. And so if anyone in our audience wants to reach out and work with or reach Sean Farley or the Novus Realty team at Coldwell Banker American Homes, where do they find you? Dave.
Well, I mean, we use Instagram, such a great platform. So I'd say just shoot me a message on Instagram. We're Sean Farley _Novus_Realty. Novus is NOVUS, and it's pronounced Novus, not Novice. If you call me Novice, just call somebody else. It just makes it sound like I don't know what we're doing, and we know everything that we're doing. Yeah. So it's Sean Farley _Novus_Realty, and then you can call our main line is Monique's line. It's 914-608-3939. And I mean, look, if anybody's out there that's going to get into real estate, and you want to be part of a really good winning team, I mean, I have to say that with the acquisition, our market share in that area has gone up tremendously.
Correct.
Right away. So it's great for you, great for us, and we are a team that everybody who's been a part of our team, whether you're still with us or not, has always said that was a great team to be part of.
Yes.
Some people have left the business. We don't hold grudges if someone's got a friend over at another place, and if they go over to that place, half of them come back anyway because they're unhappy. Right. So it's and we don't lose a lot of people. We've had the same team for, my originals from way back when, Stephanie and Brian and just way back in the
great
beginning.
Group. Great
really,
group.
really nice. I mean, you've been out with them.
Yeah.
It's just a great group of people.
Good.
It really is.
Good.
And again, I apologize. I couldn't name everybody on the team.
No, it's good.
It just came to my head.
Anyone ever call? You got the office number? Do you want to give?
Yeah, I mean, the office number is great because you can't forget it. It's 516-354-HOME. Give us a call.
All right. There you go. There you have it.
Surprised nobody took that one. We tried for sold. It wasn't available, so we settled for home. So.
Perfect.
Great day today, though. I appreciate being on the show. It was great.
Yes. So great to have you here, buddy.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Awesome.